What is good, everybody, and welcome to FPL Today Live, where we talk about Fantasy Premier League, and we're going to discuss Game Week 7 and look forward to Game Week 8. So thank you so much for all of you for joining me, and of course we start off the stream with what is everyone drinking. Unfortunately, I'm not drinking tonight. This is just Pepsi because I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but we had to get a stream out today because unfortunately my boss has decided that I'm working late all week, and I literally had to swap a shift for this so I could be able to live stream. So thank you to my colleague at work who switched shifts and is unfortunately at work right now, so I could come on and do a live stream with you guys. So a big welcome to everyone in the chat. We have Alan Arjadinovic, we have Abdul Umar, we have World of Smite, we have Asib Chowdhury, we've got Swerve, we've got Anthony Lee, we've got Arins Anaichi, probably said that so wrong. We've got M. Byrne, we've got Ayush Falur, good to see you in the chat, my friend. We've got Marco Leary, we've got Nilesh, we've got Abdul Umar, we've got another Hoops, good to see you, another Hoops, and we have a sponsor for the streams, Gordon Gilbody, with that little nice J&O symbol next to his name, as well as Wesley Balletta in the chat. So welcome everybody, 52 people watching as we start. And just before we get into the show, hopefully you all got paid recently. If you did and you're interested, and only if you're interested, we do have some new merchandise currently available in the store, the FPL Today store. As you can see, we have some merchandise, some t-shirts, some mugs, in celebration of the fact that we've hit over 9,000, and will only be available until we hit 10k, which should hopefully be in about 2 weeks. The way things are going, we're currently on about 9,300 subscribers. So thank you guys so much for the support, and if you want to get that in commemoration of what we've achieved, it is there. But enough about that, enough about all this random stuff that you probably don't actually care about. What you do care about is probably something like how many points did I get this game week. As you can see on the screen, it was 60. My overall rank is now 137,714, so we did increase our rank again, but it's not a big increase. It's about 18,000 increase, which I'm not going to complain about. It's better than getting a red arrow, but we still want to break that top 100k, so then we can start working to break in that top 50k and then start moving towards that top 20, that top 10k. So 60 points when the average was 51. I'm okay with that. Trippier was one of my best performers with 11 points. Hazard getting 10 points would have been a decent captain choice, to be fair. I did say that the Chelsea-Liverpool game could be a game where the big players score because the game might be a little bit more open. The defenders may not sit as far back, and Hazard definitely performed. Unfortunately, Mo Salah didn't. If you check out the polls, there are various questions in the polls, and one of them is, should I change my image that I start the stream with, saying stream starting soon? Should I change Salah to Eden Hazard because of Salah's recent performances? I believe someone said it in the chat as well. So make sure to go and answer those poll questions. We'll look into that. My other good performers, other than Hazard and Trippier, Maddison again popping up with points. Aguero got 8 points, captains doubled to 16, and then Callum Wilson, although he got 5 points, was a bit of a villain because he could have had a goal off of a Ryan Fraser pass, which would have given me an assist for Ryan Fraser and a goal on top of the assist Wilson got. And Wilson didn't take the penalty with Joshua King off the pitch. So a bit disappointing in Wilson. Ryan Bennett and Wolves continue to impress. Ryan Bennett would have been a better choice than Wan-Bissaka, which is unfortunate. And my transfer in was Aaron Ramsey. I tossed and turned between him, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Yarmolenko, Felipe Anderson. Who else did I consider? Goodmanson I also considered. And pretty much everyone I considered that I didn't pick managed to go and get some decent points. So I went with the wrong choice there. I was hoping the contract situation would drive Ramsey to a good performance. It may have done the opposite because Ramsey's stats were terrible. Absolutely terrible. So that is how I've done. As far as the FPL Today League, I don't think I actually give this enough coverage, so I will do that now. The FPL Today League, we can see that Los Balados, Cosmin Rotaru is top with 544 points. That's 100 points more than me. So well done to him for being top, just beating out Pericombulations. Ben Ashworth is in second with 541, and various other people. Is there anyone's name that I recognise from the chat? As far as I'm aware, Jeff Holt has been doing rather well, but we won't take too long looking through this. So well done to anyone that is in this top 10. 522 points and up is an incredible total, so well done to you guys. And let's get to the questions, which I'm sure you guys have been waiting for. So let's get straight into it. Bring Lacazette in was the first question from Alan Arjadinovic. So if we actually go to Lacazette, now I'll tell you right off the bat, before I actually go into any of his underlying stats, I really do like Alexandre Lacazette. I think Arsenal are a better attacking force with him in the side, and generally I feel like he's a great option this season. It was just disappointing he didn't start the season as a starter, but current game week, so the game week just gone, if we can get it to work, because at the moment it's saying he got 4 starts and he clearly can't have 4 starts in one game week. Alright, so we're stuck with looking at all of his appearances. So he's had 7 sub appearances, 4 starts. So 7 appearances in total, 4 starts. So far he's got 2 goals and 4 assists, which is a good return. Expected goals is at 2.31, doing rather well with expected goals. Expected goal involvement at 2.98, so that is all very, very good. We've got penalty area touches at 33. He's got 17 attempts on goal with 12 attempts in the box. We've got 6 shots on target, so that's only that's 50% of his attempts from inside the box that are on target if all 6 of them came from inside the box. But about 35.3% shot accuracy, 11.8 goal conversion, 3 big chances. He's also created 9 chances for his teammates with 1 big chance created as well. His heat map shows that he kind of drifts out to the right a bit, but he is all over the pitch as far as that final attacking third. As far as players to compare him to, considering his lack of minutes, he is above the likes of Callum Wilson, or equal with Callum Wilson for attempts on goal. He is above Arnautovic, Dini, Aubameyang, Firmino, Vardy, Jesus, Toussaint, Zaha. But, I mean, really the one to compare him to, you're probably looking at comparing him to Firmino and Vardy, because they're in similar price brackets. He has had more attempts than Vardy. He has had less shots from inside the box and less big chances and less shots on target. Shot accuracy is 50% for Jamie Vardy and 21.4% goal conversion. So Vardy is actually doing more with his chances. Compare him to Firmino, you've then got 11 shots to 12 inside the box, 5 big chances to 3. So Firmino's getting more big chances. On target, Firmino actually has 1 less shot on target, and shot accuracy is pretty similar and goal conversion is pretty similar, although Firmino does beat him there but has got more minutes. So right now, considering Vardy's fixtures, you've got Everton, it is Arsenal in game week 9, but then it's West Ham, Cardiff, Burnley, Brighton, Hove Albion. Whereas Arsenal do have Fulham, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Wolves and Bournemouth. Kind of similar runs, I would say. Liverpool and Wolves probably aren't easy fixtures, although Arsenal do play Wolves at home. And for Leicester, Everton, West Ham, Burnley, all suddenly looking more difficult fixtures than they did previously. But Vardy just seems more clinical right now. So potentially I would look at Vardy instead of Lacazette. That's my gut feeling on that, although I do really like Lacazette, and you could of course go with those 2 strikers and not have one of the really expensive ones. Is Vardy injured? Well, Gordon Gilbody just completely knocked everything I just said. So then, yeah, go Lacazette. Ignore everything I just said. Jamie Vardy, shin injury. Potential return is the 6th, which would be the game week coming up, 75% chance of playing. So he could still play, but it's not a move. I never risk bringing someone in that is on an injury, but it doesn't look like he's out for a long time. Notorious Nerd asks, is it time to get rid of Man City assets with Champions League rotation and tricky fixtures? Worried about Aguero and Silva as they played 90 minutes tonight. Was that David Silva or was that Bernardo Silva? As far as Manchester City's fixtures, they do have 3 difficult fixtures in the next 6. Liverpool, Tottenham, Man United. The way Burnley played, Burnley could be a difficult fixture, but it is at home for City. Southampton is at home as well. And then we also have West Ham away, and West Ham have looked decent, but I'd expect Man City to do well. So I reckon 3 out of 6 victories should be definitely possible. Again, Man City Liverpool was a high-scoring game last season. Man City, Tottenham, Man City, Man United, there could definitely be goals in those games. I believe there was a 3-2 victory to Man United last season as well. So there's 5 goals in a game. So just because the fixtures are hard doesn't necessarily mean I would get rid of Man City options. Wouldn't necessarily keep them with the fixtures and the worry of rotation. For me, I think Aguero plays whenever he's fit. And until I get that proven differently to me, I think I'd stick with Aguero. As far as Edison, if Edison was your other option, Edison isn't going anywhere. And Edison in a game in tough fixtures, I know it was Silva that you're talking about. David Silva, I think, is definitely a rotation, so is Bernardo. So for me, Aguero is the one I would potentially stick with and see what happens. Anyone else other than Edison and maybe Mendy when he comes back, because I think the only time Mendy hasn't played is when he's had an injury. So for me, Mendy, Edison and Aguero are the only ones I really feel like sticking with. Sterling is starting to kind of make me think that he may be a nailed-on option, or as nailed-on as he can be in a Pep side. So Sterling is definitely someone I would also consider. And that goes straight to Daniel Jarman wanting a comparison between Aguero and Sterling. Now, of course, they are different positions, but a similar price. So I suppose it's all depends on kind of, if you want another premium striker, then Sterling can come in and fit in. If you want Salah and Hazard, then you probably can't fit Sterling into your side. So heat map wise, of course, Aguero is going to be more central. That's just natural. However, stats summary wise, just straight off the bat, the stats summary says that Sterling is a better option. If we go off goals, it's 5 goals to 4. If we go off assists, it's 4 to 2. Both of those in Aguero's favour. However, expected goals being in Aguero's favour and assists being in Sterling's favour. Goals, of course, being more points. If we look at penalty area touches, Sterling actually has more, 64 to Aguero's 60. They've both played 516 minutes as well. So they played the same amount of time and Sterling's had more touches in the box. Attempts on goal is a lot higher for Aguero. Attempts inside the box, again, a lot higher. You're looking at 38 goal attempts to 18 in Aguero's favour. You're looking at 28 goal attempts to 13 inside the box in Aguero's favour. You're looking at 11 shots on target to 10 shots on target. So that is surprising to see that shot accuracy is very in Sterling's favour. 55.6% to 28.9.
4 to 3. Big chances scored. Aguero wins out 3 to 2. Minutes per attempt is better for Aguero, 13.6 to 28.7. However, that shot accuracy and goal conversion is higher for Sterling, potentially suggesting Sterling is on form at the moment and scoring more of his chances. All the chances are easier for Sterling. As far as chances created, it's 14 to 13 in Sterling's favour, but big chances created and assists are the same for both. Minutes per chance created is 37 minutes to 40 minutes, however, in favour of Raheem Sterling. So, for me, I actually think both are equally as good options. the way I would approach it is, do I have someone I'd want to play up front instead of Aguero? If I do, then Sterling comes in. Or do I have someone I'd rather play in midfield than Sterling? If so, then Aguero could come in. There's always going to be rotation risks with any of the big clubs that are really fighting for their Champions League success. But you've got to remember, these sides also want to win the league. They really want to win the league. I'd say it's as important as winning the Champions League. Both are huge tournaments that can mean so much for the clubs, especially for Man City to win it twice in a row. I'm sure that's something they want to do. Liverpool haven't won the Premier Division in a while, so that is something they definitely want to do. Man City haven't won the Champions League. I believe I'm correct there, whereas Liverpool have. So again, they're both going to want to do well in both competitions. So I don't think you can necessarily think that they won't be playing their best sides when they can, especially this time of the season. However, if they feel like the Champions League game is easy or the Premier League game is easy, then I can see rotation. But for me, Aguero or Sterling, I'd say you're looking at pretty similar options there. Okay, so Sumac Saha, while we're on Aguero, because it's been asked, they want a comparison of Arnautovic versus Aguero. Of course, when you do a comparison of players in such similar, different price brackets, you are going to want to take that into consideration. Minutes played, Arnautovic has actually played less minutes. You're looking at 5 goals to 4. Assists is 4 to 1. Expected goals is better for Aguero. Expected assists is better for Aguero. You're looking at penalty area touches 60 to 41, Aguero's favour. 38 attempts to 16. Inside the box 28 to 12. Shots on target 11 to 7. Big chances in total, however, 4 to 5. So despite the lack of chances in comparison, Marko Arnautovic has had better chances. And minute per chance, again, better for Aguero. But shot accuracy, 43.8 to 28.9, a lot better for Arnautovic. And goal conversion is also the same. As far as chance created, 13 to 6 in Aguero's favour, with more big chances created, 2 to 1, also in Aguero's favour, giving Aguero 40 minutes per chance created at 276 for Arnautovic. But you have to take into consideration Arnautovic has had tougher fixtures, and that West Ham side have now just... Apparently the audio's gone funny. Sure, that's Pepsi. Right, let's try and recalibrate my microphone. Okay, what's that sounding like? Let me know about the audio, guys. So I'm presuming, because no one said anything before, that the audio was good, and now it's suddenly changed. 1 second, fellas, as I join the stream myself. Yeah, that sounds all right to me. Oh, wow. No, I hear it now. Great. Okay, so we'll remove the microphone. Okay, so guys, let me know what I now sound like, because you may hear this just before I do, but I need to talk anyway, so I can actually hear myself on here. Too much Pepsi. I'm not sure Pepsi really does that to your voice, Bryce. I'm not sure at all what has just happened. And I'm still waiting to hear my own voice. Alright, there's me getting the microphone sorted. What is that? What has happened?
Sing us a song. What song would you like, Craig? Okay. Hello. That sounds better. So now the background noise has gone up. I am your father, Luke. Alright. Is that successful? Alright, so right now, as I speak, what does my voice sound like? Is the background noise gone down a bit? Balls have finally dropped, JNO. I'm forever blowing bub. Okay, so you may have just looked at me not speaking for ages there. But hopefully my camera is now working. I believe everything should be alright now. Hopefully. Again, I can hear the plane landing. Then I should turn that down. And we should be... Nope. Picture's frozen again. As far as I can tell. Nope. Well, this is going well, isn't it, people? Usually, if you're new to this stream, just for the record, it usually doesn't go that wrong. I mean, sometimes it does, but usually doesn't go that wrong. And to be fair, this is why, guys, as soon as I can, I need to get a streaming desktop of some sort and not be using my laptop, because it does get stressed out and it does start to sound like an aeroplane, basically. But anyway, let's get back to talking about Fantasy Premier League, and hopefully things will continue to go well. The next question I've seen, I might as well start with a new question, because if I try and carry on from wherever I was, it's going to fail, is Matt Doherty versus Jonny as a comparison. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I think both are very good options right now. But Matt Doherty has been, for me, clearly the standout budget option to put into your defence. And the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I felt like there were other areas I needed to fix. Players like Pedro needed to be changed. So I've been making those changes. And this is the first game week where I suppose I could make that move to Matt Doherty. If we compare the two, Jonny's underlying stats have been decent as well, and he is 0.1 million cheaper. However, goals scored, Jonny has scored 1, just scored it this game week, but assists 2 go to Matt Doherty over 0 for Jonny. That's not to say he hasn't been creating chances, but expected goals is higher for Matt Doherty, as well as expected assists considerably higher for Matt Doherty. You've got goal involvement higher for Matt Doherty as well. And to be honest, I'm pretty confident that is going to be the story the whole way through this comparison. Penalty area touches 22-20 in Matt's favour. Goal attempts 11-8 in Matt's favour. 10-6 inside the box in Matt's favour. We've got 4 shots on target to 2 in Matt's favour. Big chances scored is actually in Jonny's favour, however. They both had 2 big chances. Jonny's put away a chance and Matt hasn't. But minutes per attempt, again, Matt's favour 55.4 to 76.4. Shot accuracy in Matt's favour, just goal conversion isn't. And then chances created, you've got 9-8, very, very close. Big chance created 2-0. And then you've got 68 minutes to 76 minutes per chance creation. So for me, Matt is the better option. But if you only have 4.4, Jonny will have games where he will do just as well as Matt, but I think Matt really is the go-to option. And right now, I'm considering transferring out Holebas, because unfortunately I don't have any funds in the bank, so whatever move I made would have to be a player that's more expensive than Matt Doherty. Now, Wolves, fixture-wise, Crystal Palace, Watford, Brighton in the next 3, that looks very good to me. Compare that to Watford, who do look decent as well. They have a longer run of decent fixtures. Now, it's all about whether I'm willing to miss that Crystal Palace away game. If I am, then I can wait till I've got 2 transfers and make the move then. But otherwise, I would have to bring in for either Alonso, Trippier or Holebas. I'm not sure I'd do that. Can't bring him in for Bennett, which is annoying. It would have been nice to just make that straight swap, but that's a boat I missed, unfortunately. Matt Doherty was someone that I looked at and thought he looks like a good option before he started scoring points, and it never worked out. But Aguero for Kane. So an Aguero versus Kane comparison, I think, would be good now. On the plus side, by the way, with that malfunction in my voice, with my balls dropping, it means I've probably got less clips to edit later. Just as long as it doesn't do that while I try and do the My Team episode, which I will be recording after this stream as well before going to bed. Okay, so we've got Aguero compared to Kane. Now, I personally am pretty confident this is going to be heavily in Aguero's favour. You've got the heat map showing Kane playing very, very deep in comparison to Aguero. Kane's played more minutes and scored the same amount of goals and got less assists. 4-1 on assists. They both scored 5 goals each. As far as expected goals, Kane has actually gone up recently to have a higher expected goals than Aguero. However, assists is very much in Aguero's favour, which means goal involvement is also in Aguero's favour. Now, if we look at penalty area touches, it's 60-48, again in Aguero's favour. You've got attempts 38-20, inside the box 28-20, both in Aguero's favour. Shots on target is 11 apiece. Big chances actually goes in Kane's favour, 8-4, but big chances scored is equal at 3 apiece. Minutes per attempt higher for Aguero. Shot accuracy better for Kane, as is goal conversion. As far as chances created, it's 13-9 in Aguero's favour. 2 big chances created each, but 1 more assist for Aguero. And a minute per chance at 40 minutes to 70 minutes. And now the issue I have with Kane, and I've read it, some other people have suggested this as well, is with Eriksen and Ali not being in the side, Kane seems to have been playing a more deep role where he kind of drops back and then Son and Lucas Moura run past him. In the game he just played, one was a headed goal, good headed goal to be fair, off of a Kieran Trippier cross, but then it was a penalty that he scored. Now, yes, Kane looked a lot better, which kind of happens when you score 2 goals compared to when you don't score. And Cardiff is the perfect opponent to play Kane as captain against. So if you have Kane, I'd say captain him. If you don't have Kane, I would probably lean towards just trying to ride out the storm in game week 8, because his fixtures after that and after the international break, you do see, and actually that's a plus point. If I save my transfer, I have 2 transfers after the international break, which is good. So I probably won't use my transfer. But anyway, Spurs' fixtures, if I can find them. Cardiff next, very good fixture. West Ham away, West Ham have looked much improved. Then it's Man City, then it's Wolves away, Wolves look decent. Crystal Palace away, Crystal Palace, you'd expect them to probably beat away, but still not bad. And then Chelsea at home. So the 2 home games are difficult, Man City and Chelsea. And then their away games, West Ham and Wolves, aren't the ideal away games in my eyes right now. So I actually look at their fixtures and then look at Man City's fixtures. Yes, Man City have 3 tough fixtures, but they have 2 nice home games in there, Burnley and Southampton. Burnley may put up a fight. Southampton, I reckon there could be goals against. They do then also have West Ham away, though, which I think isn't a great fixture for clubs right now. But West Ham against Arsenal and Man United, out of the top 6 teams, I'd say Arsenal and Man United are the 2 teams that a club like West Ham are more likely to do well against than your Tottenham, your Liverpool, your Chelsea, your Man City. So I don't necessarily think it's a must that you bring in Kane, but if you've got Kane, against Cardiff is the perfect fixture to captain him. Daniel Jarman, Arnie is the best budget forward once those fixtures get good for West Ham. As soon as those fixtures look tasty for West Ham, I'd suggest bringing him in. I think Brighton of Albion's a good fixture anyway, but you've got Leicester, Burnley, Huddersfield, game week 10, 11 and 12. I think there are some nice fixtures after that Man City game as well. You've got then after Man City, it's Newcastle, Cardiff, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Watford, and then Southampton. So it gets very nice after that Man City game as well. So West Ham options are definitely a possibility, and Arnautovic is the person that's leading that strike force and looks very, very good. Polis Bear asked about Knockhart. I was bigging up Knockhart last week because Brighton have, from game week 8 until game week 16, what you'd consider a relatively nice run of fixtures. You've got West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves, Everton, Cardiff, Leicester, Huddersfield, Crystal Palace and Burnley. Now, to me, in that side, Knockhart is the best option right now, other than Glenn Murray. He is the other one that you could potentially look at as a differential, as long as he isn't injured, which I don't think he is. So those would be the 2 I'd look at. Knockhart's stats are okay, but they're nothing like spectacular. If I can find him. But he has had tough fixtures as well. So it's one of those where you're taking a punt, but he's had 5 shots on target, 10 shots from inside the box, 14 attempts in total, only 1 big chance, but he also has been creating chances, if memory serves me correctly. 11 chances created, 3 big chances created and 3 assists. So Knockhart is a nice one and could be a bit of a differential for you if you're looking to move another player on because of the fixtures. Catch you later, Bryce. Sorry about the time difference. Hopefully you'll be able to join the stream next time, because hopefully on Thursday I'll be doing a daytime one. So I hope to see you there. I would like to also talk about Ryan Fraser, because I know a lot of people have been mentioning that they brought him in after his 19-point goal haul and then he's not done much of them since. Now, to me, Ryan Fraser has done enough to still stay in my side. 5.9 million, 19 chances created, one less than David Silva, same amount as Sigurdsson, more than Willian, Salah, Hazard. Big chances created, 7 big chances created. Silva, Hazard and Gundogan are on 4 apiece. So for me, he brings the chances created to an extent where at 5.9 million, I believe he's worth keeping. As far as his goal threat, 18 penalty area touches, 13 attempts on goal, 8 from inside the box, 4 shots on target, 2 big chances, both scored. So I think Fraser is a definite keep. On the other hand, Callum Wilson is starting to drop off. And he's done this before. He goes kind of hot and cold. Wilson used to be, one of the top strikers for underlying stats. But now if we look, as far as goals scored, he's dropped right down the table. He's scored 2 goals. That's the same as his strike partner, King. And it's there with Joselu, Firmino, Aubameyang. There's a lot of strikers that have scored more goals than he has. In the same sort of price bracket, in the 6.3-ish area, you've got Ings at 5.7. You've got Andre Gray at 6. You've got Murray at 6.5. If you can stretch to 7 million, you've got Mitrovic, you've got Arnautovic, you've got Zaha. So there's definitely options to take out for Wilson, whereas I feel like Fraser is still safe for a little bit longer. As far as attempts on goal, again, Callum Wilson was near the top, but he's now behind the likes of Ings, Kane, Jimenez, Mitrovic and Aguero. Big chances, Callum Wilson is still near the top 8, but Kane is up there with him now. Mitrovic is only 1 behind, as is Jimenez, Lukaku and Jesus. As far as shots on target, Wilson has 7 shots on target, again behind the likes of Dini, Raul Jimenez, Kane and Mitrovic. So I'm starting to look at Callum Wilson and think if he doesn't do something soon, he could be transferred out of my side. Stanislas over Fraser, I definitely wouldn't go there yet, although Stanislas could be a good option in the Fantasy Premier League. He has shown very good promise when he has played, but he seems very injury prone, which is a worry. So I personally look at Stanislas as I'll wait and see, and as soon as I see enough from him, he is someone I'll consider. As far as... Oh, wow, we've got a super chat from AT, Aguero and Salah or Kane and Sterling. First of all, thank you very much. Can we get some hearts in the chat for AT? Second of all, for me, I would probably go Aguero and Salah, just because the amount of attempts on goal they have is so high that all you need is a game week or 2 where they really start converting those chances, and you could be looking at a massive, massive game week. As soon as you see that massive game week, you'll know you've made the right choice. If it never comes, then you'll be regretting not going to Kane and Sterling. Now for me, Sterling probably is going to be less of a rotation risk in the near future than Aguero. Aguero is carrying a bit of a knock. Hopefully the international break will see that sorted out. Salah doesn't seem himself, but then again, in my eyes, neither does necessarily Kane. So I think I'd still go Aguero and Salah. I can see why people go Kane, but I think Man City and Liverpool are a stronger side combination than Man City and Spurs. So that is why I'd stick with Aguero and Salah. There was someone mentioning Jimenez and why there isn't much mention of him. I have considered Jimenez a lot, and I've looked at him and thought, could I go Jimenez and Ings as the partners for Aguero? Because that would save me a lot of money to spend in midfield. The issue I have with Jimenez is not that Wolves aren't a side that are going to create chances. They clearly are. And I think that side, Wolves side, is going to do well this season. My issue is he's had 22 attempts on goal, 17 from inside the box, 7 big chances, and he scored 2 goals. His shot accuracy is decent, but his goal conversion is very bad. Out of the top strikers in the game, his goal conversion is at 9.1. The only person he's really beating is Gary Jesus, Cenk Tosun, and Morata. Now, for me, that's not good enough. I mean, I know he's cheap, but for 0.5 million more, I could get Troy Deeney, who scored the same amount of goals, but has done so with less chances, if that makes sense. And 6.3 million Wilson, again, has done more with less chances now. Although I suppose, strictly speaking, 2 goals is, if they're both scoring 2 goals, it's irrelevant. So actually, going to go back on myself, the only person that's really doing better than him in that kind of price bracket is Danny Ings and Glenn Murray. Glenn Murray is about 0.1 million more expensive. Ings is very similar price. So Ings is the one that is probably in that price bracket that's the only one doing better than Jimenez. But it just seems to me that when you're that high up the table for shots on goal and you're really not converting, it's a bit of a worry. Now that could of course change, and if it does change and he starts converting, I will eat my words. And Jimenez is still in my thoughts, but I don't think I'm going to be going for Jimenez just yet. The thing with Salah is I really do think he will come good eventually. But you've got to remember, I'm the same guy that said this about Kane last year, and it took a hell of a long time to happen. The issue I have is he's still getting the chances, and it just seems to be... Because my issue is if they stop getting the chances, a bit like Callum Wilson has, then I start to really worry. Because then it's not just form, it's just he's not getting the chances to actually score. The issue with Salah is he's still highest for attempts on goal for a midfielder. His conversion means he's not good value for money right now. That's a fact. And every player that has him still has to make the decision, am I willing to wait a little bit longer? Because he's the type of player that could suddenly score 3, 4 in a game, and then all doubts will be quashed. He's had 29 attempts on goal, 20 from inside the box, 8 big chances. Now, as far as I'm aware, that puts him top for every underlying stats. Shots on target, he is equal with Mane and Pogba, but he's still top. Minutes per chance, he's one of the best in the league for minutes per chance. His shot accuracy is actually not awful. It's not as good as Mane, it's not as good as Sterling, it's not as good as Hazard. You've got Madison, whose shot accuracy is better. Pedro, Richarlison, but then that's about it in the kind of area where you think these players are going to get lots of goals. Goal conversion 10.3, again behind Mane, Sterling, Hazard, Madison, Pedro, Richarlison. But then you're getting a few more players like Mahrez, Pereira, Sigurdsson, Fraser, Bernardo Silva with better goal conversion than Salah. But all it needs is him to finally start performing like he did, and I'm hoping the international break may give him some time off, that Salah will come good, and waiting for him to come good will be worth it. M. Byrne, how many hits did you take last year? I don't remember, to be fair. I know I took quite a few near the end of the season, but not many at the beginning, and that's generally the way I play it. Is when it comes near to the end of the season and it becomes more of a sprint, I then start to take more risks. Whereas before that, I don't take as many risks at the beginning of the season, which may be a reason I start a bit slower. I wish I'd taken more of a risk with my transfer this game week. Instead of Ramsey, I should have gone for someone a bit more out there, and that would have been good, but I didn't. And that could have been the difference between me breaking the top 100k and not, which I haven't. Who will I be captaining this week? So, for me, I always look at the fixtures first. And the fixtures, to me, suggest that the teams with the really good fixtures are Burnley, Spurs, Palace, Brighton. Now, Brighton have West Ham at home. Because it's at home, I could see West Ham not necessarily being the best defensively, although they have improved. Palace at home against Wolves. again, Wolves could go there and cause an upset. So Tottenham, Burnley, I don't think Huddersfield or Cardiff are going to do anything against either. Spurs, of course, you'll be looking at Kane, but there could be outside bets like Son and Mora as your captain choice. Burnley, for me, Goodmanson is their main player at the moment to really be looking at. Goodmanson, of course, would be a real punt and differential captain. Kane is the safe one. Arsenal against Fulham. It is at Fulham, but Fulham love to play attacking football. So if you've got Lacazette, Lacazette would be the one from that side I would look at. Leicester against Everton. Everton's defence hasn't looked amazing. It is at home. If Jamie Vardy is starting, Jamie Vardy is an option. I mean, away you could consider Eden Hazard, but I generally don't go with Eden Hazard when he's playing away. And then Liverpool against Man City. I believe there will be goals in that game. Will you be able to predict where the goals come from is a completely different matter. But I think both sides will want to win this. So I think Aguero starts in that game. I think Salah starts in that game. I think all the big players start in that game. So you could risk a captain choice from that game. But the safe option is Harry Kane. Ismail Mayer, if you still got Mendy, I would probably hold him till the international break is over. I think you either needed to get rid of Mendy early, which is what I did, or you're going to have to wait it out. That's what I would do. I personally don't think Bellerin's the best option. If you're going to transfer out Mendy, for me, it's Trippier, it's Robertson, and it's Alonso. And Alonso, of course, is much more expensive. Or you could downgrade to a Luke Shaw. You could go to one of the Wolves fullbacks. But for me, Bellerin isn't really an option. Fabianski, set and forget. Wish I'd stuck with Fabianski. After a few bad performances by West Ham, I moved to Matthew Ryan. I'm hoping now with the fixtures getting good that Matthew Ryan pays off. But I think Lucas Fabianski is a decent, cheap set and forget. Who to bench from Marco Leary, Shaw, Alonso, Trippier, AWB and Trent Alexander-Arnold. I would go AWB. Yeah, against Wolves, I see Wolves scoring. Anyway, guys, I know it's been a short stream and I know it was impacted by the fact of my voice suddenly dropping and me sounding like Barry White, Darth Vader, whatever you want to say. However, because I'm feeling a bit under the weather, it was always going to be a short one anyway. Should I triple captain Harry Kane? I wouldn't triple captain him, but it could work out, TMM car. It definitely could pay off, but I wouldn't personally do it. Sterling for Mane. I think Sterling is a great option for this season. Would I go from Mane to Sterling? Potentially not, because I think Man City's fixtures get very difficult. Notorious Nerd, shall I play both Bennett and Wan-Bissaka? You can. It's one of those things, it's going to be difficult, Notorious Nerd, to figure out which to do. Because I can say one and then the other pays off, or vice versa. Bennett and Wan-Bissaka are more likely to get a clean sheet in my eye, but Robertson's more likely to get attacking returns. So you've got to decide which one you're going for. Arnautovic for Mitrovic. I reckon if you've got Arnautovic up to this point, you stick with him, because I think he's about to have a good run of fixtures where he could score a lot of goals. Anyway, I am going to call the stream there. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this stream. Apologies if you were here for that part where it just completely went wrong. Because it did. Just my voice went really crazy. But thank you guys for pointing that out in the chat. Much appreciated. Thank you for joining the stream. If you've enjoyed the stream, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you to AT for the super chat as well. Much appreciated, my friend. All support is greatly appreciated, and there's various ways you can do so in the links in the description, including my merch store. If you want to get limited edition merch before we hit 10k, because it will go as soon as we hit 10k, make sure to check that out while you can. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game. Toodle pips, bro.